Oh, I'm really out of sync here. Hi, everyone. It's Patty from PS Paper Crafts, and I'm just trying to get all lined up here. Let me just line up my. I'm out of sync here a little bit. Okay, let's get started. So my name is Patty, and I a Stamping Up demonstrator, and I demonstrate Stampin' Up products. That's what that means. So I'm here live Wednesdays at 1 p.m. And I'm a little bit late today because I had a guy cleaning my grout. So he regrouted and cleaned up and everything, 2 bathrooms. So he just left. So I'm a little bit kind of out of sorts here and a little bit late. But anyway, you can go to my blog, pspapercrafts.com. You can see all the instructions. You can shop there. There's lots of stuff. There'll be links below the video for it. But today I wanted to focus, it's not a fun fold card or anything like that. I want to focus on die cutting your pattern paper. I mean, it's amazing to me when I look at paper. You know, you use it as a background or whatever. And this is the New Horizons paper, and it has some really beautiful, on one side, well, those are not good ones. On one side, it has kind of a scene, but then on the other side, it has kind of this water color kind of look. So this could be a meadow with the sky. You know, I made a card actually yesterday on my blog, and let me show it to you using one of these. And I just cut the background piece, and it had this beautiful scene in the background. And then I turned over some of the papers, and I cut, sorry, my dog is going nuts because he's been locked away all day while this guy was doing the grout. So then I cut my butterfly and my flowers from the other side of the paper. So this is what this side looked like. And then I just looked around. I love this. So I figured I would make some hydrangeas with this. So I'm using the Hydrangea Haven Bundle, and it has dies and the stamp set. And I have my greeting is for you from that stamp. And this is one of the bundles that are on sale this month. It ends tomorrow. Today's March 30th. This will end tomorrow, where you can save 20% on the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, which we'll use today, as well as some select bundles that are trying to highlight some of these, and the Hydrangea Haven Bundle is one of them. So all of these bundles, the peach, the pansies, even the sunflowers, they look very big, but they fit in here. So that ends tomorrow, as well as as I said, the machine itself. This is on sale, 20% off till tomorrow. And you get all the plates, you get the embossing plates, the cutting plates, all that. And I did, since I'm a demonstrator, I do get to see the new catalog, and this does go up in price. So if you wanted one, I would grab it now before the end of March, or before the new catalog comes out in May when it goes up in price. So anyway, let's get started with the card. And I just think it's pretty. It's a simple card. I just love how these hydrangeas turned out. So I'm going to use Misty Moonlight and a piece of white, basic white for the background. And then this is one of the pieces of the paper, just as a background. And then I have a little piece for my little sentiment there. And then I picked out some of the papers. I'm using the green for the leaves and the stems. So this is the one side. And then I picked out some of these. So this is the one I used for this, and the blue, and the blue. And then I use this for the pink. This I think is my favorite. So we'll do a blue. And all I did, this comes in 6x6, and in order to fit into the machine, it should be, it's like 3.5. So I cut it in half, and so I get 3x3 or 3x6. So we'll just go ahead and get started die cutting. So we'll cut everything out, and then we can put the card together. So, you know, usually I make a fancy fold or something different, but I wanted to just really highlight If you have designer series paper, look through it, both sides of it, and then do some die cutting with it, see how it turns out. You can cut it into smaller pieces. So let's do the blue first. Oh, and then we have this side. Let's see, what else did I have here? Because I want to make sure I get the colors I want. I think I'm going to do a blue, and I'm interested in this. And I want this one. So let's just put this in. We'll put the plate, the base plate, the cutting plate, and then a top plate, and we'll just run it through and run it back. Get it started. I'm not going to run it all the way through. I try not to run it all the way through if I don't have to, because I don't want to get any kind of imprint on there. So then we'll take this, and isn't that pretty? So we're going to do that side too. And I'll just take your pick tool and kind of push it through and pull it out. Okay. And look at how pretty that is. So that has more of a blackberry bliss. And then you can just push some of these through with your take your pick tool. I'm not going to push them all through, but you can, you know, push some of them through to give you that effect of the petals, you know, popping up. So we'll just do a few of them. I think that's gorgeous. And then the trick that I found, this is a Jennifer McGuire trick. Take your roll that you use to get your, what is it called? Pet hair off, or lint off, the lint roller, and just take off the stuff that's kind of left behind. So now we want to do the blue one. So let's put this back in. Let's flip this over, and we'll get a blue one. So I love the colors of hydrangeas. They're one of my favorite flowers. And we'll just go up here. And they say it's the iron in the salt, sand, or dirt that gives it the color. So if you put like iron nails in it, you could change color. When I lived up in New York, we had them, I'll tell you, at the Jersey Shore, which I would go to pretty often. They had beautiful hydrangeas. Absolutely beautiful. And I think they liked that salty air or whatever. They just were so big and full. You'd go down there and they were beautiful. So let's just pull this off. It's a little bit tight, but that's okay. And then we have the blue one. So we're just going to poke some of these out. You can go over this with the brush, but there's not like a lot of pieces to poke out. Just some of the centers. And on my card, I didn't really put any bling on. Sometimes when I've used this, I put it on some of the holes here, but I didn't think it was necessary. But if you want to, you can put little pearls or rhinestones or something like that. So we'll just poke some of them up. Okay, so now we have two of them. We're going to take our little lint brush. See, you could see there's all little, the holes from the flowers. You don't want them to, you don't want any paper to be left on this, because when you run something through, it'll leave an impression. So now we have two of them, and I wanted to try this, because I think this is really cool. And, you know, if I don't like it, I'll cut another one. It's just amazing to see when you take it out and flip it over and see what the result is. It's always amazing to me. I love those little surprises. They make me happy. So we'll just go through and come back. And sorry for the shaking. Okay. And let's see. So isn't that pretty? Love each side. So we'll just push this through again. So these holes are to release it. Some of them are to get the centers out, but some of them are to just release your paper from it. Let's see what it looks like. I think this is going to be a pretty one. Look at that. Looks like, you know, nature colors, different colors, which I like that kind of natural look. So I'm just poking out some of the centers that were left. I probably could run this through with some wax paper to loosen it up a little bit. If you run your die on your die cutting machine with a sheet of wax paper, it helps to release the paper from the die. It just gives it like a little coating. And you could do it, you know, every once in a while, but this wasn't too bad. So just poke a couple more through. So now we have our 3 beautiful, gorgeous little flowers, and we'll put this away. Now we want to do the leaves. And you can stamp and cut the whole thing and have it use this die for it, or you can get that kind of intricate look with your leaves. So where is my card? Here it is. So I use the leaves, the open kind of intricate ones. So I'm going to take my piece of designer series paper. This is the pattern I picked, and I'm actually going to, if I can find it amongst my stuff here, I have a piece of this, it's double-sided adhesive. They're called adhesive sheets, and I'm going to put it on the back so that I can easily lay this down and not have to glue it all. So it kind of makes whatever you're cutting into a sticker. So you just take, this is the backing, the release paper, and then when we cut it, we'll take this side off, and it will release your sticker. Okay, so you want to do it on the back side of whatever you're doing, and let me just show you what they look like. They come in a pack, 6 by 12, so 6 by 12, and you get 12 sheets, and they're really great. You just cut them to size. I always cut them a little bit smaller so that it's not hanging over the edge, and that's perfectly fine. So let's put this through. We're going to have to run 3 of these through, and that'll be pretty quick. So we'll just run it through, and then we'll pull it back, and we'll do one at a time. And then you can just pull this off. And I just like to have this box here. It's an empty paper pumpkin box. And just pull these out. Very easy. I probably should have done a couple of these ahead of time, just to save time, but that's okay. I was trying to get everything prepared, and I was back and forth with the grout guy, and he had me check things and see which color I wanted, because they did regrout some of it. So it came out really good though. So isn't this pretty? It has some white in it, and light green and dark green, and that's what I love about cutting up your designer series paper. You know, I used to get it and I would be afraid to cut it. I didn't want to ruin it. It was so pretty, and I don't know if any of you watch Kylie Bertucci. She's from Australia, and she's all about chopping it. Just chop your paper, don't hold on to it, use it. So I kind of went with that. There we go. We went all the way through on this one. And then we'll die cut also. We'll stamp and or die cut the little sentiment. So I'll probably die cut it and then stamp it. So let's just pull these through. I know I'm probably out of camera. I'm just poking them through these extra pieces. So see, this is a little bit different. It's a little bit lighter than the other one. But again, when you go in your garden, nothing is exactly the same. And this is a little bit thicker because it has the backing. Okay, so here's side by side. They're close, but a little bit different. And then let's just poke this one out. That's the extra pieces. And we'll do one more. I think we'll get one more out of this. I hope I had it close enough. So let's see how this is going to go. Yes, perfect. We'll put it right like this. So this is even lighter. So it gives you a nice little pattern. We'll just run it right through. And one more thing with the die cutting machine. Now I could hold on to this if I want to use some of these pieces. I may do that. We'll take our little paper pumpkin box back in here and just get these pieces punched out. Let's see. Okay, one more. So I got to look at the new catalog online. My copy is supposed to be on its way. So as a demonstrator, you get to view it online, and we get to order on Friday, April 1st. I think that's Friday. So I'm excited. It's a limited amount that you can order. They don't have everything in yet, but I'm very excited to see what we're allowed to order and then to go ahead and order them. Okay, one more quick little die cutting thing. We'll take our scrap of Whisper White or Basic White and our little tag and just run this through. So I love my little mini machine. It doesn't do everything, but I'll tell you, most of the dies work with it. You might get, I mean, even this one, this big die, it will fit right in there. So you'll be surprised at the dies that do fit, but there are some that, you know, you definitely need the big one. And then also with your embossing folders, they only work with the mini embossing folders, the ones that are only, you know, this wide. So if you have other embossing folders, you definitely need the big one, big machine. But boy, it's nice to just have this right on my desk and not have to drag over the big one. So I think we're done die cutting. Oh no, we have one more. We'll do that in a few minutes. We have to die cut this little flower, but that's okay. So then I chose this. This is one of the papers. Isn't that pretty? I don't know if that would go, but I just thought this was really pretty. I'm looking at this now. Maybe we should use that side. So this is what this looks like. I kind of like this side as well. So I did kind of blue in the middle, and then we'll do the two pinks. Let's do this side. Make it a little bit different. Okay, so I am going to put this down on my white, and I'll use some glue with this. And we'll just put all our pieces together. I start in the middle with the middle flower, and that one I popped up with dimensionals, but the other ones I have flat. So let's pick this up. I'm a little bit off. With the liquid glue, you can kind of get that all nice and moved around. And then let's put this on the card. So Misty Moonlight is another that is retiring. It's one of the in colors from 2 years ago. So they only stay out for 2 years. I probably shouldn't have put it on the card yet because I have to maybe snip this, but that's okay. We'll deal with it. So let's get this kind of lined up. Let's put this one right here. Now you have to peel off the back, and sometimes it's hard. It'll probably be hard on camera to get right between them. Let's try over here. You just have to get one part of it and go right between them, and it will just pull apart. And then there's one down here. So sometimes there's a seam between that you can, let's see, I'll show you on the back. So see, this was 2 strips, so there's a seam between. So it depends on where it's cut, whether you have multiple pieces to take off. But you'll be able to find out as you're taking it off. that it's not all one piece. Okay. So now let's just put this here. And it will just stick down like that. And I'm just going to put these down. We'll just wing it and they'll fit, I'm sure. So let's see if there's a spot here that's already picking up right there. So that's the seam. So we'll just pull this back and then we can go on this one. Pull this back. And then there's one more with the stem. And I don't know if you can see it, but in person it's very visible. Okay, there we go. All these little scraps. Even this side is pretty, isn't it? So let's put this down here. And you just press it down and it will stay. And then we have one more. So we've got the 3 hydrangeas in a row. I'm going to go right in here. And just pull this off. So it's pulling that whole piece off. They kind of all split it the same way. There we go. So let me put this down. All right, let me see. I see some comments. Hi, Dawn. Yeah, isn't it pretty the other side? Very pretty. So now we want to put these down. I love this one. I'm thinking I probably should have put this in the middle and had a Blackberry Bliss card base. It's so pretty. And we'll put this one down. So these I put down flat with glue. And I'm not going to go too far in the middle because the ones that are popped up, I don't want to make them flat. So we'll just put this one down. And this one I'm going to pop up so it will kind of go above those. And we'll just put a little glue just around. I'll put this one right here. I like it with this paper. I like that one as well, but I like the kind of the background on this one. So let's get some dimensionals and we'll put this down with dimensionals. And I'm just going to put a couple in. Again, I don't want to pull down what I popped up with the little petals. And if you want to pop up more, you know, just keep working on it and you can pop them all up and they're pretty. But it just gives it a little bit more dimension. So there we go. So pretty. All right, now let's do our little tag. Push this stuff away. So on the tag, I did the For You. It's from this set, and I'm using the Misty Moonlight. That's the card base that I'm using. So I'm just going to put that right down at the bottom. And of course I have glue on my fingers. I always have glue on my fingers. If you watch me, you know that. I guess that's my thing. Everybody has a thing. Usually a good thing. Mine is glue on my fingers. Okay, and then I didn't do this, but I want to get some of these little flowers. And it's nice because you do this whole row of them. And let's just do, let's see what we have here. Let's just do it right in here. So I'm going to take this back out and we'll just run this through. Let me just get these off. I see a couple of these little dots here. I guess it's time to change this. I'm getting it used and abused there. So we'll put this through and this will cut out a whole bunch of these flowers, and I did use them on the inside as well. You can just cut out one if you only wanted to, just run it through a little bit. Okay, take this, whoops, put this aside. And then we have these whole row of flowers. And look at those. Pretty on both sides. And we won't take them all out, but you can just pop them out. They're popping into my hand. I can feel them. Oops. Let me just get these out this way. Come on. Okay. So you can use, again, either side. The side that's the top just is nicer and cleaner. So if you were going to glue them down, I would try to get the front side. It's a little bit, there's a little dot in the middle, so it's a little bit embossed, even on the petals. So we want to put that, one of these. Which color do we want? I kind of like this one, but I like this one too. So I'm going to match. Let's see. That one looks good, right? So I'm going to just put a little glue dot right here. Not a glue dot, a little dot of glue. And just put this right here for you. I'll put these aside for a minute. And then I'll use the twine that we have. I love this, the Baker's Twine Essentials pack. And I just did some white. And we'll just take some, I always overdo it. And get my scissors out. I always make it way too long, but I rather have more to work with than less to work with. Hi, Glynis. Hope you're doing well as well. Well as well. Well too. Thank you for joining. We're almost at the end here. So I just tied this. I tied it once in a knot, and then I tied the bow. Now, if you don't feel comfortable doing this, you can just tie a bow and then, you know, add this on. Oh. So see, I have glue on my fingers, so everything I touch sticks to me. So let's just do this. So we have our little tag for you. Now this would be a great Mother's Day card. I didn't put a sentiment on the inside, but to an incredible woman, or if you have Happy Mother's Day and you have a little gift or something, or for anything. There's the thank you as well, which is very small. I'll show you that in a second. So you could also do a thank you, an I love you, a congrats. I think with love, I think they all fit on this little tag. So let's just tighten this up and cut off our little ends. Does that look too big? Looks a little bit big. So we'll just fuss with it a little bit. Okay, and then I'm just going to cut off my ends. And I put this right here. Now I put it down with a dimensional on the tag itself. If you want the tag to be loose, you can put a glue dot back up here. But I wanted it to be kind of stay in place. So I just put a dimensional back here. And then I put it right up here. So it's kind of in that center one. So then on the inside of this, again, I didn't put a sentiment. I just used some of these flowers and put them up here. You could put them in both places. You can cut a bunch of them however you want. So with this, I used my take your pick tool and picked one up, and I just put a little dot of glue here. And then maybe I'll do 3 on the top. If I have enough, I may do 6 of them. I'll do 3 up here and then 3 on the bottom. Let's see, this should be over here a little bit. Okay, and there is a little glue on the outside, but that's okay. I'll take that off after. I have one of those gum erasers, so once it dries, it makes it nice. That's my dog snoring. Not me. I don't know if you heard it, but he's waiting for me to be done to take him out because he's been locked in a room all day while this guy was doing work on my house, on my bathrooms. So he's like, when are you gonna take care of me? Okay, so yeah, this one I need to just clear up the glue a little bit. And we'll put this on the inside and then we're done. Oh, so Glynis, you're a newbie. Yeah, just play with it, I'll tell you. Just keep playing and you'll get the hang of it. You'll get your style. And I watch a lot of YouTube videos to see what other people are doing, especially when it's a new product and you're like, what is this dye for? Sometimes you get dyes and you don't even understand what they're supposed to be used for. But there's a lot of great ideas out there. I love that people share and, you know, we can learn from each other. So hope to see some of the projects you make. So these are the two cards. They look very different because of the different papers that I used. And I like them both. I'm not sure about this hydrangea. I love this one and I love these. So, but that one's different, but it's pretty. So anyway, thanks for joining me. Again, sorry I was late. The guy didn't leave till about 10 after or 5 after. And I came right in and I had everything prepped to do the video. But again, Savings Are in Bloom ends tomorrow, 20% off the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and then a whole bunch of the bundles that go with it. And make sure you're looking at the last chance products because there's a lot of good sales there, and when they're gone, they're gone. So they're clearing out to get ready for the new catalog, which comes out May 3rd. And some of the dies are 50% off, and there's some really great dies out there. And there's a lot of, you know, embellishments, and the designer series paper is, I think, all retiring. And I did do a video, I think it was Monday. You can find that. And I actually walked through the entire catalog, have it color-coded to show what is retiring, what is becoming unbundled. Like it may be a savings of 10% now as a bundle, but in the new catalog, you can't, you'd have to buy the stamp set and the dies or the punch separately. So I kind of went through all of that and hopefully made some sense out of it for you. But thanks again for joining, and I hope to see you next week. You have a good day. Bye.